this morning about favor against all odds. Anybody ever feel like you've been up against all odds? Just everything, nothing working for you. Every way you turn, it's just like doors are shut, nothing's being open. Well, we want to talk about favor against all odds. We're going to look this morning at the life of Moses. And it's a lengthy chapter, so I ask that you will go home and read chapter 3 and 4 in its entirety, and go on to 5 and 6 if you can, and see all of the nuances that happen in the life of Moses. But we want to take a look at Moses, because we talked about how on last Sunday, favor is the tangible evidence of God's grace and mercy in your life. The tangible evidence of God's grace and mercy in our lives. So, we're going to begin reading at chapter 3, verses 1, going through verse 14 of the book of Exodus. And it reads as follows. One day, Moses was tending the flock of his father-in-law, Jethro, the priest of Midian. He led the flock far into the wilderness and came to Sinai, the mountain of God. There, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a blazing fire from the middle of a bush. Moses stared in amazement through the bush. Though the bush was engulfed in flames, it did not burn up. This is amazing, Moses said to himself. Why isn't that bush burning up? I must go and see it. When the Lord saw Moses coming to take a closer look, God called to him from the middle of the bush. Moses, Moses. Here I am, Moses replied. Do not come any closer, the Lord warned. Take off your sandals, for you are standing on holy ground. I'm the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. When Moses heard this, he covered his face because he was afraid to look at God. Then the Lord told him, I've certainly seen the oppression of my people in Egypt. I've heard their cries of distress because of the harsh slave drivers. Yes, I'm aware of their suffering. So I've come down to rescue them from the power of the Egyptians and lead them out of Egypt into their own fertile and spacious land. It's a land flowing with milk and honey, a land where the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites now live. Look, the cry of the people of Israel has reached me, and I've seen how harshly the Egyptians abuse them. Now go, for I'm sending you to Pharaoh. You must lead my people out of Egypt. Sermon note number 1. God will give you favor to do what he asks you to do. He'll give you favor to do what he asks you to do.